and hello, I am Seattle's one and only glamazon goddess and queen of the pigs, IsabellaExtynn, and welcome to another episode of The Race is On. Welcome on back. Today we are discussing Season 12, Episode 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I am so excited for this episode. It is the Makeover Challenge, and they were making over superfans. My guest for today is a staple in the Seattle drag scene. She is Seattle's drag alien. Please give it up for the one and only Irene Dubois.
Oh, we're doing this now? Great. Hey, Diva. Ooh, hello. I don't have nails on. Don't look. I think the fact that I have the nails is enough at this point.
Yeah. How's quarantine been going for you? What have you been getting up to in quarantine?
It's been a dream come true, honestly. I've been fantasizing about being locked up in a tower, unable to leave and unable to work for a very long time. I am a full-time drag queen, so I'm not eligible for unemployment. So I've just been, doing online drag shows and online hooking, I have 17 OnlyFans accounts now. Quarantine is its own special brand of hell, I think. It's like the most insane historical moment that any of us will ever live through, probably. I'm sure that you understand this more than most people, but it's weird not performing in front of a large group of people on a regular basis.
It is. And I get fed energy off of my audiences every single week. And
every Yas queen that comes out during my drag number is like a hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. it's like glitter hit,
Yes, absolutely. I'm like releasing old photos on my Instagram just to get comments.
Oh, yeah. Just validation.
Yes.
I am lacking sheer validation in my life. So, what shows do you have coming up?
I've got the Art Place drag show every Friday that I am just kind of like going to focus my energy on. I did one of the Instagram live shows, right? And it was, what's the word? Painful?
Yeah.
So I will not be doing any more Instagram live drag shows, but I really like pre-filming content and submitting it to Twitch.
Well, and honestly, creating one digital drag number is a lot of work.
Especially even doing numbers that I already have that are like stage ready and I have the costume and all that, like that is still a whole hullabaloo.
Creating multiple digital drag performances a week, to have creativity flowing at that rate and also be able to produce at that rate.
It's interesting watching people who like are embracing the new platform and people who are trying to do what they've always done. It feels like the people who are doing performances that they couldn't do on the stage on camera are the ones that are really like shining. Like it's annoying to be thrust into the position where it's like, adapt or die.
And so, before we go any further, I want to make sure that everybody follows you on your social media accounts at Queen Irene Dubois. Make sure to go follow her on everything. And if you like the content she's putting out, go ahead and tip her on Venmo at Queen Irene Dubois. Help a queen out. If you like the content I'm putting out, go ahead and tip me on my Venmo or my CashApp. I really appreciate it. Make sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn. And subscribe to this channel by hitting that red subscribe button and dinging that bell to get notifications on everything happening on my channel. So we are here to talk about Episode 10. It is the Makeover Challenge.
The worst challenge every season. Oh my god.
I thought they did pretty good this season.
They did. I mean, it's always super cringy for me to watch these queens who have worked so hard all season to earn their spot in the top 5 or 6 or whatever it is, to then suddenly have to rely on the personality and outgoingness of complete strangers.
Yeah. But there's also something to say about leadership and inspiration. And that's what they're actually looking for in this challenge. Harkening back to season 9 again, Shea Coulee in the Makeover challenge ended up in the bottom. The guy that she picked couldn't walk in heels and couldn't figure it out. And then also when they walked the runway, his bang on his wig.
You know who really should have been lip syncing was Wigs and Grace.
Right? Yeah. But there wasn't very much drama after the lip sync this week. It was just like everybody was friendly and happy.
Yeah, since Britta left, I feel like they've all just kind of been chilling. Well, which is nice to see, you know? Yeah. I think that so much of the show, for a lot of people, is we want to watch the art.
This episode, Ru was like right down to business. There was no video message. There was no mini challenge.
We've got to get all of these extra backstories in. We don't have time to mess around.
We've got 15 backstories to get through today.
Exactly.
I'm going to need at least 6 people to cry today. Ru walks in, and she's being real quiet, real sneaky. You gotta be quiet. They're right outside the door. In the next film studio.
In the next film studio.
My favorite thing in this moment was Ru was like, okay, everybody act natural. And Crystal was like... And then the super fans stream into the room. Surprise!
As if saying surprise, the superfans suddenly know what's going on.
I know. And
I thought it was so funny when they started introducing themselves, and the first 2 just were like, hi, I'm Jane, or whatever. And then Janet was like, I have a tagline. Yeah. And then after that, the rest of them were like, well, I have a tagline too. Yeah. I think they might have wanted to like show an example of like what a fan of Drag Race is supposed to act like.
Well, good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, those girls were all so positive and sweet, and they all seemed like drag really helped them in their life.
The Drag Race fandom has a lot of problems within it. There's a lot of racism within the Drag Race fandom.
The show is unfortunately breeding a generation of people with some real trans misogyny problems, thinking that drag can be narrowed down to just cis men.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This has been a big thing that I've talked about on a lot of episodes with a lot of other queens, and all of us in the community, I feel like, that are actually like regularly working within drag, disagree with the show's stance on having trans performers, AFAB performers, and drag kings on the show.
I agree. I think most people kind of see the writing on the wall that it's getting to the point where it's a little bit weird. It just makes watching the show and like enjoying it feel a little bit tainted, you know? Like I would much rather watch a show that is inclusive.
Jada got to match him up because she was the winner of the last challenge, and she chose Bethany for herself. And then Nicole was the next girl in line, and she put her with Heidi. And then Janet the Planet was put with Redacted.
Redacted!
Or Miss Trev R Project.
Allison Mossy.
And then Shay was put with Gigi. And Tiffany was put with Jackie. And then Grace was put with Crystal.
I thought that Jada did a really fair job assigning everybody. It felt like she put people with queens that she thought would help them succeed.
They were working in the workroom, figuring out their drag names, their characters, what they were doing, and talking about all of their sob stories.
I felt so awkward watching poor Heidi have to like pep talk this girl who she does not know. Like imagine meeting someone and then the literal like first couple of hours that you know them, they like break down and tell you about their childhood trauma.
Yeah.
The most Drag Race thing that could possibly happen. Don't let what they said get to you. Feel fabulous, girl. Like, she was very uncomfortable.
Well, and it's like, what are you supposed to do in that? There's this person overwhelmed with emotion crying in front of me, and I'm like, no, we got work to do right now.
Very that. I would have been like, so do you have your therapist's number? Like, can we give them a call? Meanwhile, Jackie's gal is like doing the splits.
Oh, yeah. Jackie's a little snacky.
A little snacky.
Yeah, Tiffany, she was the sassiest you could ever imagine. Crystal and Grace were like super vibing with each other. Just
They're
like
both weirdos.
right off the bat. And Bethany putting on those heels.
Oh my.
One with Jada,
First
and
of all,
she was stumbling around the room.
The second she said, it feels like my toes are being crushed, Jada should have said, girl, let's get you an open-toed platform.
Jada put her in a pointed toe, high arch, 4-inch, no platform heel, which is one of the most uncomfortable shoes to wear for a long period of time.
Advanced. Yeah, the other thing is Jada could have just moved her up a size and put a little cotton in the tip of the toe.
Yeah.
But it was a hot shoe.
Oh, yeah. Janet the Planet is so cool. I just want to be her friend.
Yeah, she was chill.
She's so much fun. And she's just like, oh, yeah, these are my people, and show is my jam, and I've watched it since season 1, and I love drag queens, and I hang out at drag shows all the time.
And my legal name is Janet the Planet.
Yeah. So in the workroom when Rue comes through, there's been a few times this season that I kind of feel like the robot is malfunctioning. Because she just keeps repeating herself.
Well, the fact that she just calls Crystal El DeBarge now.
Yeah.
Like, hi, El DeBarge.
Oh, but like this episode, she said to multiple people, well, drag isn't about hiding, it's about standing out.
That's true. She said that to everybody, didn't she?
She said it to multiple people. On Snatch Game episode, she said the word volley to every single contestant that they showed a walkthrough with. Is having some wiring issues.
The robot.
Volley, 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 volley. Also, last thing about the walkthrough, I'm getting over the renaming of Heidi.
All of her social media is still Heidi N Closet.
Yeah. Well, and the N stands for Nina. So it's Heidi Nina Closet.
Heidi Nina Closet is hilarious.
It's
what?
so good, right? Heidi Nina
Heidi
Closet.
Nina Closet? Why did they take away Nina?
Right? But now I'm done with it. Just like shut the frack up. Okay?
Shut the frack up.
We go on to the little rehearsals. I thought it was really cute when Grace had her like super fan meltdown on the stage. And then Crystal was like, this just makes me remember that, like, yeah, we're on Drag Race.
Absolutely. By this time, they've got to be desensitized to it, you know?
Yeah. It was, again, Bethany in those shoes.
No, at that point, I was like, just take the shoes off.
It went on to, like, the getting ready section where they were, like, painting them all up. Jada and Bethany had a little moment where they were crying and Jada was talking about her man.
That was such an unnecessary moment to cry. She's like, I'm crying because I have an amazing boyfriend who I love.
She was like, we met on social media and decided to become friends. And I'm like, oh, so you met on Grindr and decided to become buddies, and it grew into more than that.
But they've been together for, what, 12 years?
Yeah.
Was Grindr even around 12 years ago? Girl, they probably met on OkCupid.
No, they met on Adult Friend Finder.
Yeah. You know who really blew me away, though, was Heidi. She's so bad at painting herself and yet turned it out on this girl.
No, as soon as they said Makeover Challenge last week, I was like, oh, Heidi is going to put some boo-boo busted out on that stage.
Done. Over. Her last episode.
Nicole's makeup looked better than Heidi's.
Yeah, that was wild. She pulled it back together, though, by putting her in that boring dress.
The judges this week, Rue's look, when she first walked out, I loved it. And then as I sat there and stared at it, it got tackier and tackier. There were silver chains on the dress, and then she was wearing a gold earring.
Oh, you're going to clock her for her gold.
And then she had on this tacky, ugly gold stripper shoe.
Oh, you can't clock Miss Mama Rue for her shoes. She never has cute shoes.
Ross's book plug was so funny to me.
So cute.
And then Daisy Ridley, I thought that she had really great improv and really great interjections into this episode.
She did, but I kind of got the vibe that she, like, watches the show, but has no gay friends. I was gagged that they got her, honestly. She's a big deal.
So let's talk about the runways. First one is Heidi.
It was that beautiful pink long sleeve jumpsuit. She looked fabulous. Probably the best she's looked all season, except for the hair.
Yeah.
And then she was like, what is the most boring dress I can put this girl in?
A little, like, context clue that I picked up from the episode is that most of them were expecting it to be a family member. And so Heidi probably had a matching sequin jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And then this super fan came in and she was like, she's not going to fit this jumpsuit. And so instead of thinking of a new plan, she was like, I'm still going to wear this pretty jumpsuit.
Which was whack.
So the next one was Jackie, who also did a little disco moment.
Which felt very much just... every time a queen says they're going to do disco for the makeover runway, they end up lip syncing.
Have you seen this meme going around that's like the curse of 70s disco?
Okay, well, see, at that point, it's time to stop doing disco.
One thing about Jackie's look, the jumpsuit, when she first walked out, I thought it was sequins that she was wearing. Upon closer examination, I realized that it's just a like shiny stretch fabric.
Oh.
Which means it's a super cheap fabric, but it looked luxe.
It did. I thought it was sequins myself. And those hairs were definitely both like bobby pins or something.
Oh, they were.
Like,
yeah,
expensive hair.
The next one down the runway was Jada. They were in the red
sequin.
It was a gorgeous gown.
They were perfect.
I mean, Jada is a fashion designer. And so I think what she probably did, which is so smart, is she brought a fully realized gown for herself and a bolt of fabric.
Yeah.
And then Crystal was after that. The best ever.
What can you say? It was genius.
So good. The whole like gender swap Bert and Ernie. It was so funny. So well done and also fashionable at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was very, very interesting to look at. Like, I really enjoyed the fashion element of it. It wasn't costumey.
No. It was like a fashion-forward version of Bert and Ernie. To get a superfan that's down to, like, clown like that...
She got lucky.
Yeah. So the next one was Sherry and Janet. Let's just focus on Janet.
Unrecognizable.
She was serving the entire time down the runway. Like, she knew the character. She was a fully realized drag queen.
I forgot who she was.
Yeah, she looked totally different. She was one of the biggest transformations of the day. Oh, and the last one down the runway was Gigi, and she was in the black and white moment.
Boring. Oh my gosh. Her runways have been getting more and more boring.
This runway frustrated me because I was like, this is the easiest way out for the makeover challenge.
She clearly was not trying to win. It was the least exciting thing on the runway. How sickening would it have been if they had torn away and had switched colors in their tearaways? You know what? There aren't enough reveals on the Drag Race runway.
But something I found really weird in a producer standpoint was the spacing of the contestants across the front of the stage. During the deliberations, I thought the judges did a really great job of like uplifting Honey
while tearing Heidi apart.
Yeah.
They were like, you look so good. Your legs are amazing. Your face is beat. Heidi, why does she look like garbage?
But all in all, I think everybody did really well on this episode.
Yeah.
This season has been like pretty strong.
Yeah, there hasn't been like a real dumpster fire.
The superfan lip syncs happened after that.
Necessary. Cringe.
I thought it was kind of cute.
Hated it. Cut it. Wish they cut it from the episode.
And then after that, the winner of the challenge, shockingly, ended up being Jada.
I don't know how shocking it was. I mean, definitely the most technically proficient transformation.
Yeah, it wasn't interesting enough for me.
No, for sure. I can't think. The only reason I can think of that Crystal lost is that it wasn't
Rue's style.
Rue's style, yeah. Like there was literally nothing wrong with it, and on top of that, it was like brilliant, hilarious, funny, groundbreaking, like
and so different. So the bottom two ended up being Jackie and Heidi.
Fitting.
And it was a very clear like who the bottom two was going to be.
Crystal and Jada and Sherry did a great job. Gigi did a fine job.
Yeah.
And then Jackie did slightly worse, and then Heidi did terrible.
Yeah. They had to lip sync to Kill the Lights by Alex
Which
Newell.
I was shook. I was like, where is Amore Is Your Black?
Oh, I love that song so much. But it was a really good lip sync from both of them in such different styles.
Absolutely. They both killed the lip sync, and before it even happened, I was like, this would be a very appropriate time for a double save.
Their performances were like comparing apples and oranges, because Heidi was giving a lot of like movement and like very pop. Jackie took on a character, and you can't compare those two different styles of performance, which I think is a little bit of a commentary on drag and drag competition in general. I think this should have been Crystal's third win, to be honest.
Third win, wow. And it's her 0th.
Yeah. Well, we have now reached our episode wrap-up. It's time for the gift, the gag, and the goop. The gift is your favorite moment from the episode. The gag is the most shocking moment from the episode. And the goop is the shadiest moment from the episode. What was your gift for this episode?
I thought it was hilarious getting to see Crystal's paint on national television, like her process.
Yeah.
Just because I watched, her little YouTube tutorials, and they send me to another dimension with how weird her painting process is.
And then what was your gag for the episode, the most shocking moment?
The double save. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The double save had me shook to my core.
My gag for the episode was the fact that Crystal was robbed and assaulted on stage, and nobody did anything to help her.
No one called the police.
So what was your goop for the episode, the shadiest moment?
I thought that when they were in the workroom and they were just like chilling, and Jackie's little snacky friend did the splits and they started throwing shade, and then Jada was like, Jackie, now you do that.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of good shade in this episode. I think one of my shadiest moments was when Heidi was like, oh yeah, my girl, she's a G. And Jackie was like, yeah, she's a G for going home.
Oh my God.
Sherry called her out on it. It was like, Jackie is performing for our guests today. Also, that's the experience that those super fans wanted.
Absolutely.
The yas.
They wanted the yas.
Yeah, they needed the yas.
They required the yas to live.
God, I could use some yas. Well, Irene, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to go follow Irene on all of her social media accounts at Queen Irene Dubois, and tip her on her Venmo account at Queen Irene Dubois. Yeah, help her out.
And of course, if this is after the pandemic that you're watching this, you can catch me every Friday and Saturday night at our place for the Lashes Show.
Yeah, you can also catch her on Saturday and Sunday afternoons at Julia's for Queen of the Brunch. She's hosting there. Go check her out. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you throwing on a face and a fit.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
If you're enjoying all the content I'm putting out here on my YouTube channel, go ahead and donate to my Venmo or my Cash App. It is really appreciated. And make sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn. And subscribe to me right here on YouTube by hitting that red subscribe button and dinging the bell to get notifications on everything happening on this channel. Come on back next week when I'll have a brand new guest discussing Season 12, Episode 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I'll see you soon.